My channel is Two Sheds Gabby, and I'm back with more coin roll hunting this week. At the bank today, I picked up 2 boxes of halves. I was hoping there'd be 3, but it was just 2, and it's the same as what I had last week, like this one, and then what I'm used to getting, the Brinks box there. Last week I did not too good with these. Hope we'll do a little better this week than we did last week. Also, when I got home, found out I'd gotten my microscope extension for my Tomlov, which theoretically now I'll be able to view the whole coin. Cool. We'll set it up here and see if we can see the whole coin. Well, I can see more of the coin, but I still can't see the whole coin with this extension. This is extended all the way out. Maybe if I did dimes, but that's why I can see a whole lot more than I could, so that's pretty cool. Here's my extension here. There's that double rim on the $50 that I talked a little bit about last week. Anyway, I am going to get into these boxes, and I'll pop them open, see if we happen to see an ender, and then we'll go through some rolls together. Well, it's not all Benjamin Franklin's. Now let's pop open the other one. Alright, here we go. Oh, if you happen to know what this is, will you let me know? The old paper it came in is so beat up. Usually it has an explanation right here of what it is, and it's all worn off. And I'm trying to figure out what it is. Thanks. Love that. Well, I don't see any silver enders, but I hope we find a couple today. Okay, let's get started. Right away, get into some silver right away. Not in the first row. $2022. This is from the Brinks box. So I'll find the 2021s and 2022s in this box, apparently. Try not to touch that coin. I don't want to scratch it. They are nice coins. Super nice. You see that? 2022 P. Really nice. I believe that's another one right there. I have the camera much closer to me than I usually do. If you hear my breathing, I apologize. 2022, another really nice one. I think I have a couple more. Yep. And maybe another. Yep, maybe I'm going to find several of these today. I do like them. Not as much as I like silver, but I like them. There's another one. I've got one of those little portable hand dollies that are collapsible, that have the bigger wheels so you can move them around good. And I take those in and hand them to the girls behind the counter, and they use it so they don't have to carry the coins as far when they bring them out to me from the vault. I mentioned before in a previous video that one of the girls that helps me get the coins used to work for the PNC, and she said these what I call Loomis, but she said that the PNC always got theirs from Garda, and they used the same big flat boxes. She said she likes them better for whatever purposes. They open them up and rubber band them or something like that. She said that they've always liked those bigger ones better. I'm knocking rolls of coins over here. Making a coin mess already. Man, I hope we find a silver coin today. I've had a few of you write me recently. A couple of you that are brand new that have said you've gotten into some silver. How cool is that? I'm happy for you. It's really neat when you just get started and you find some silver. That'll help keep you going, unlike not finding any. Oh, that one looks rusty. Wow. That one's probably a 96. Yep, and somebody drew a line on it. Why did they do that? I've been asking all the places I go if they've got any loose $50, because I used to find silver, pretty frequently doing that, but I have really not found much of anything around here lately, and I don't find nothing in Coinstar lately. Well, I found 4 old beat up pennies the other day that were just a mess. That's all I have found recently. I was looking online at some storage auctions, and there's one that it was ending in an hour, and I just didn't have a chance to really get prepared for it. And it had a massive album collection that I'd love to have gotten my hands on. LP albums. Another 2022. The bid was already at $1,900, which is pretty high, for what you're doing, but I'd have paid it. It was clearly a good unit. 10 by 25, just massive, full of stuff. Lots of old stuff you could tell in there. But I had to pass on it. I just wasn't quite ready. I just got another storage unit for keeping stuff in, and I'm just not prepared yet. If it had been a little 5 by 5, I might have jumped on something, but that elusive silver. I'm really thinking about buying an oven thing and start melting down copper. I sell equipment for a company, and I strip it of just junk copper that's, connecting different things. And I thought maybe I'll just start melting that down and making ingots or something like that. That's kind of fun. I get a lot of green boards too, so I guess I could start doing something with that, but I have to buy a lot of chemicals and whatnot. I've watched the videos. I love watching the videos where they do that. I don't get nearly as much of the gold as they get on those videos, but I do get green boards that have gold pins on them. A couple more of the 2022s, it looks like. Right there at the end. Yeah, they're all Philadelphia. I'm terrible. I haven't even looked to see if they even make anything besides Philadelphia. I really ought to do that. I'll do that before I post this video. Lazy, I guess. I'm going to have to jump on that branch girl if she doesn't get me some silver. I promised to take her one of those big British pennies. She said she's never seen one. I'll just take her one and give her one. I took one of the girls that worked there a bunch of Ike dollars because she likes to give them to her, I think she said, nieces and nephews. She got a kick out of getting them because she said they hardly ever get them there at that branch. This one that's been beat on. Oh, it's got a pretty good color to it. Not great condition. I went into a bank in Florida several years ago, probably about 4 years ago, and asking if they had halves, and she said no, but I believe it was 400, like 300 or 400 Ike dollars. I think it was 400, and I bought them all, and I sat on them for a while, and I decided to get rid of them, and I got rid of them, and then I decided I wanted to collect them again, so now I'm keeping them again. I'm not holding on to them for dear life. That's why I didn't mind letting a few go to that young lady at the bank. 2022. You got a pretty good stack going. There's, I believe that one might be 2021. I'm going to open it on the smaller lip side, which I don't really like to do, but I don't want to scratch up the other coin. Yeah, it's 2021 there. Cool, that's a good one. And another 2022. I also picked up a box of pennies today, so later in the week I'll get up a video of seeing how much more copper I find, adding to my copper hoarding stash. Oh, 2012. Denver. 1,800,000 they minted to that one. Cool. $2021. Don't find as many of those as 2022. Had a person write to me from, Minnesota. Yeah, Minnesota. And he says he gets lots of Canadian coins. Man, I want to do that. I just may take a trip up there, see if I can order ahead. And I'll see, here's one of the newer ones that somebody drew on, and I don't like that. That's a bummer. If I was to try to sell this, I don't think he might want it. It's on the side too. I don't know why they feel the need to do that, but that's their business. I guess it was theirs when they did it. I remember seeing a old movie or a show or something a long time ago where there was like 2 or 3 people both saying "me last Mohican," and so one of them killed the other one off so that he could say "me last Mohican." So I guess if we take and ruin all of these except for the ones that I have, then mine are worth more. Not a good way about going about it, in my opinion, but I believe I see another new one there. Nice, nice. "2022. I saw somebody the other day referring to kids playing cowboys and Indians. Man, we did that all the time when we were little kids. I was born 1960, and that was just the thing. That's what you did. Today, golly, it's so frowned on. It's so sad. I definitely don't want to get into the whole political end of it, but it sure was fun. 2004D. PND. 2,900,000. That one made a little more of that one. There was a chain of, not a huge chain, a local chain of sporting goods stores when I was a kid called Allied Sporting Goods. And when I was a young man, they were shutting down. And I stopped in. I've been going there all my life to different, there's, I don't know, 8 or 10 of them if I recall, or I don't know, there's a handful of them. And I stopped in and I talked to the vice president as they were shutting the company down. There's a 2013 P. 5 million, quite a few of that one. I said, why in the world are you shutting down? And he said, because of the computer. He said, kids don't want to go out and toss football with their friends anymore. Because when I grew up, there was no computers. And the kids, you just drive down the road and you see kids playing outside, playing hopscotch or tossing the football or kill the man with the ball or king of the hill or all those things. And you just don't hardly see that anymore. End of an age, I guess. And when I was a kid also, I remember Sunday mornings when the family was going to attend church services, you hardly ever saw anybody out. I remember every now and then I'd see some old fellow out with this wife beater t-shirt on cutting grass, but very seldom. Most everybody attended some service somewhere or something or whatever. They just weren't out on Sunday morning. And politically speaking, if we wonder what's going on in the country, that might be part of it. When I was 18, I went to work for a company that made silos, concrete stave silos, and we were repairing them all around South Carolina and parts of North Carolina. Got another new one here. It's a 2021, but it's not in as good a condition. And right next to it, another 2021 that's in real good condition. Anyway, we would travel around mostly South Carolina in the summer that I was there. And we worked 7 days a week, almost sun up to sundown. And one Sunday, we were on a job repairing a silo. Man, some guy pulls up in his pickup truck. He's furious. What are you doing on my property? My boss says, I'm here to repair the silo that you hired me to do. He said, not on Sunday, your night. He says, pack it up and get out of here, because you are not going to be on my property on Sunday, on the Lord's Day. Being 18 years old, I was pretty tickled to not have to work the rest of that day. But I have since then I started attending worship on the first day of the week again. Couple more new ones. Are we going to get any silver? 2022 and 2022. We're getting a good stack of them going here. Well, I hope this ain't 2 weeks in a row with not a single thing. I think the week before that, I only got one. I did get a silver wartime nickel. I guess it was maybe 2 weeks ago. So the last 3 or 4 weeks, haven't found very much silver. Unlike the first couple of months where I never got so much silver in such a short amount of time. I can't complain. The early part of this year was amazing. Almost every single bit of it was Kennedy. You know, I think maybe every bit of it was Kennedy. I think I may have gotten one Benjamin Franklin this year, no Walking Liberty. But I've sure gotten a lot of silver coins. It's like 2 more new ones. 2022 and 2022. I remember we was just finishing up a job repairing those silos in South Carolina. 2022. And the property owner asked my boss, said, how long do you guarantee your work for? And my boss said, until I leave your property, because I don't know what you're going to do with it after I leave. We used a gunite process, a high pressure concrete. We would go in, set up a scaffold inside the silo, and use a high pressure washer to clean off all the loose stuff. Another one, 2022. And then we use high pressure concrete to spray inside, thin layer at the top, and thicken it up as we went to the bottom of the silo. Because they had left their silage in too long and the bottoms of them were just eaten away. My wife entered the room to get something. She's being very, very quiet. Very quiet. She does not want to be in the videos. No shortage of the 2022. This is my rolls here today. Those were some different times down in South Carolina. We worked on some big plantations, 30,000, 50,000 acre plantations. Some of them, not all of them. One of them, I know it was 50,000, and they told us that the property was owned by a New York firm that bought it so that the big shots could come down and do fox hunting a few times a year, and they just leased it out for dairy farms the rest of the time, and that's why we were there, repairing silos on the dairy farm. And then after I left that job, I guess it was a couple years later, I moved to West Texas and I worked in the oil fields. I mostly did a service to the oil rigs, laying the water flow line. And we would lay the line, and then some days we were just out making repairs because people would drive over the 2 and 3 inch plastic water pipelines we had set up, and they'd puncture them, and we'd have to go drive all over the state to repair them. Get into New Mexico every now and then. That's a newer one, but it looks just slightly tarnished. We worked out of Odessa, Texas. And my buddy met a girl at the little mall there at the Odessa Mall. And oh, here we go. 2015 $2,300,000 of that one. I get several other NIFCs. Anyway, he forgot to get her number. But she told him that she lived in Jowl, New Mexico. And so one day we said, let's just drive over to Jowl, New Mexico and see what we find. And we hooked up with a couple of young guys over there, show us around town. And I said, I saw a sign as we were coming into town. It was pretty beat up, but I believe it said Jowl population 2,000, I believe it said. And he goes, are you kidding? He said, that sign's 10 years old. He goes, I don't think we have half that now. Oh, somebody took some cutter. You know, I think I've had this coin before. Looks just like that. Another 2015 D. Was the last one a D? I believe it was. No, it's P. This one's got some nice toning on it. I don't know if you can see that around the edges. That's real nice. Wow. But we, those fellas took us up and down every street in town. We never did find the girl. But that was some experience, hanging out with those guys in Jowl, New Mexico. Crazy boys. We are just not finding any silver. That one looks interesting. Something about the border on it. This looks different. All around the oil rig business, they make these sand roads, and then they put oil on it. And I think, if I pronounce it right, it's called caliche roads. And in areas where they've leased property, they'll have what they call caliche pits, where they get a lot of the sand from. And there'll be little roadways and paths in and out of these caliche pits. And these boys took us in there to one of these caliche pits. And a friend of theirs lived down there. He lived out of his car. And when we got there, he was just waking up and was getting himself ready to go to work. When he's at work somewhere, I guess in town and whatnot, he showers and all that stuff. And he comes back and lives out of his car in this caliche pit. Pretty cool. We would take these big 3-ton trucks with guards on the front and drive out through the desert to lay this flow line, because the people that would lease the equipment from us, so the lines, wanted to pay as little as they could, so we would, the shortest distance from the oil rig to wherever the water source was the path we took whenever we could, straight out across the desert. If anybody is listening to this knows the Odessa area, the company I worked for was Fast Line Sales and Service. 1980. Oil was booming then. Folks, I've only got a couple rows to go. Another 2022. Yeah, it looks like there's just 3 more rows. Wow. We went through that fast. Nothing. Last roll. No silver. What a bummer. I'll turn off the camera and put this stuff away before we open the next box, or before we get into the next box. So I was going through the coins after I'd looked at all of them for silver. I just started going back through them, looking for oddities, varieties, and whatnot. And then I came across this. It's like, oh, a little bit of a double that there going. That's pretty cool. But then I found this one. Check this out. This is really a good one. Oh yeah. Look at that. That's cool. That's a good one there. That is so cool. I think I'm going to enjoy having this Tomlov here. So neat. I think I'm going to cut this video off right here, and we'll go through that next box of halves tomorrow. I'm going to bed.